Right, hello and welcome to this week's weekly challenges in Gran Turismo 7. So we have 5 events to complete to win 3 brand new prizes. So we have one $6 roulette ticket for parts, one ticket for 150,000 credits, and a second $6 roulette ticket but for a car. So not too shabby on the prize front this week. So let's dive into the events we need to tackle. So first up, we have a Sylvia Sisters event around Tsukuba Circuit. Now this is a 3-lap event with no performance points limit, but the only restriction is you have to use a Nissan Silvia. So for me, I use a Nissan Silvia Case Type S S14. As vehicle was fully upgraded using the standard SR20 and it was quite rapid. I enjoyed myself. Yes, there were moments where the rear end was quite a bit happy, but overall this is a super short event as I completed it in just over 3 minutes, which means you do not have a lot of time to make it up into first position. And for me, I only got into first position just before the final straightaway to the finish line. So you do need to watch this event and try and make up positions as quickly as possible, because as I said, it is not a long event, but that does not mean it was not a fun event. Generally, it was quick, short, to the point and really enjoyable. So the first event for this week, not too shabby. For race 2, we found ourselves tackling a Japanese FR challenge for 50 around Autopolis International Racing Course. Now, this has to be, I think, the easiest event that's ever been in a weekly challenge. For this event, I jumped into a bone standard Subaru BRZ and I got the win. There was no issue about it. It is a bit of a short event, as we see it's only 2 laps and you are coming up against vehicles that aren't really that fast or challenging. I mean, I was making my way up the positions really easily, and as I said, before I even started the second lap, I was in first position in a bone stock Subaru BRZ, a vehicle that by itself is not considered the fastest thing out there. And considering the fact that I still can't get over the fact I used a stock car, no upgrades, no tuning, nothing, and this vehicle almost seemed a bit too overpowered for it. So if you are looking for a challenge, look for vehicles slower than a BRZ, but honestly, if you're looking for something quick and easy, there's no PP limits on this event. You can jump into anything and just go for it, as long as it is Japanese and front engine rear wheel drive. You can have an absolute blast with this event and blast and bang it out as quickly as possible. But once again, there's no real stress or difficulty with this event. As I said, a stock BRZ got me the win, and by a substantial amount. So if you are struggling, there's a go-to vehicle for you. Race 3, we find ourselves participating in a special race. This is a special race using a Porsche 356. So you have 2 options when it comes to this vehicle. You either have the hardtop option, which can be engine swapped, or the convertible, which does not have an engine swap option, but it does have a rear wing option. So it's either you go for a lot of speed or downforce. For me, I decided to go for a convertible because it had that extra bit of downforce. So with this event, there's 5 laps around Goodwood, and when I tell you, this event using this Porsche, because it doesn't have a crazy amount of power, it was more than enough power, it had enough grip, and it was just fun and exciting to use. And before I knew it, I was in first place. And that's the thing I liked about this event. It felt really quick. I mean, it took me about 6 minutes to complete this event, so not the longest event out there, but still a really good event and a very fun one. So this is a good special one make race. Somehow we went from doing one of the easiest events to doing one of the hardest events. This is a neoclassical event. Luckily for us, it is one of the easiest neoclassical events because this is the one around Willow Springs. Now for this event, it has some strict restrictions. Firstly, Your vehicle has to be using the tire type either racing hard, medium, softs, intermediate or wets. Your vehicle's performance points has to be at 800 performance points or less, and your vehicle has to be between the years of 1980 and 1999. So you have a very limited window of vehicles you can choose from. And then what brings into effect is the vehicles that you're going to be coming up against. Run from everything from the Nissan GT or GT500 to the Mercedes CLK LM, the Supra GT500, the V6 Escort Pikes Peak Special Edition. I mean, there's GR1 cars, GR3 cars, GR2 cars, everything. So the vehicle choice that you have to pick has to be something that's extremely fast, and it's most likely going to be expensive. So for me, I jumped into a Jaguar XJR9 from 1988, and this vehicle I managed to do a no-stop run and get first place, but this was after many attempts. Luckily for us, with update 1.49, somehow the AI is just losing their mind on the circuit, and that is causing them to actually run off circuit and actually throw up some yellow flags. So that is something you do need to watch out for, because if you do overtake under yellow flag, you will be left with a 3-second penalty, which is honestly very bad in this event. So you do not want to be stuck with that penalty. So for the one attempt that I did do, somehow one of the AI went off circuit, and that really slowed down first and second place, and that allowed me to just overtake them on the 5th lap. Now on previous attempts, I was able to overtake them on the 7th lap as well as the 8th lap and just get the vehicle to come home with the win. Now with the vehicle, I left it on fuel map level 1. I was on racing hard tires, and using an automatic transmission, I was not really fuel saving, and somehow I still managed to complete this event without needing to go and refuel a single time. Now for lap times, I was averaging lap times around the 1 minute 8 second mark, which is what I recommend you to aim for, because on the hardest difficulty you will find the opponents running lap times around that mark. So you need to be running at least lap times par to the vehicles you're competing against. But thankfully, with update 1.49, the AI is running off circuit, and it's just honestly such a strange experience seeing the vehicles do that. But this event is doable, it is possible. It may take some time to complete it, but it is possible. And with the Jaguar XJR9, I feel like it is the perfect vehicle to use for this event. However, if you do not use it, you want to test out other vehicles, for example the Nissan R92CP, the Mazda 787B, vehicles around that mark, because they are really good and honestly my go-to vehicles for this event. But overall, it will take some time, but keep your head down, focus, and you will eventually get it down, hopefully. For the 5th event, the final event, we are actually doing a new event. This is the World Rally Challenge Group B around Eiger Nordwand. Now, this is the reverse layout of the new circuit, and I will be real with you here, I am not a fan of this layout. Going uphill around the tight apex corners, not fun, especially with the circuit being very tight. It doesn't really allow for many overtaking opportunities in my opinion, and look, I just didn't have very much fun with this event. But look, that didn't mean I wasn't gonna try and get the win. My vehicle of choice was the Audi Quattro Pikes Peak Special. Now this vehicle was running on racing medium tires because it was part of the restrictions, because your vehicle has to be either on racing hards, mediums, softs, wets or intermediates. So with my vehicle, I jumped into it and I set my vehicle on over to fuel map level 6, and I left it there for the entirety of the event. Now when it came to tire compound, as I said, I was using racing mediums and I did not change them. Now I did have to dive into pits at the end of lap 9 because I was running out of fuel, and I got a 6-second penalty because I crossed the pit lane coming in as well as exiting, so that is just something you might want to avoid so you do not end up with a penalty. But even with my penalty, I still managed to grab first place with this event. Look, was it a fun event? Not really. Was it a bit of a heart pounding moment? Was the racing a bit tight? Yes, it was. It was a challenge, so it fitted this week's weekly challenges quite well. Overall, this week I did have fun. I did find events way too easy. I also found events that were way too difficult, and I found some good middle ground events. So overall, I'm not really upset or can complain about anything this week. I really just enjoyed and appreciated the good selection of events and the fact that there were no Vision GT events. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts and opinion on this week's events. And with this being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.